have a good vibration.
Are you?
I feel like we're from the Beach Boys right now.
Why, because of my shirt?
I mean, yes. I feel like we're both...
Good vibrations.
Oh, good vibrations.
Yeah, girl. Happy Friday. We're 10 minutes late. We had some technical difficult childhood. We have children. We have children. That's our excuse.
It's a terrible one. We were just like,
well,
that's the
reality.
reality.
I had technical stuff.
Polo is for a guy that's been doing this.
There's a lot to do.
Long.
There's a lot to do here. I'm going to tell you this right straight off the bat. There's a lot to do, and I do my best. But you know.
That's true.
You'd be surprised how hard I make it look. Okay, first question is celery juice powder or fresh? Always fresh.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. There is a type of magic in fresh organic celery juice that you can't put your finger on. And people want the magic pill. If you want the magic pill, organic celery juice, 16 ounces every morning as the first thing you have is the magic pill. If you want to get rid of your diabetes, if you want to lower your blood pressure to be perfect, if you want to get rid of psoriasis, if you want to get rid of herpes, if you want to get rid of all of the things that make your life kind of not so great, organic celery juice, freshly squeezed from your home, not from somewhere else, is the answer. Everyone tries to abbreviate and do celery powder or non-organic or like all these things, and it's just like,
and there's
if you want the results,
yeah,
you need to get your own masticating or slow press juicer, and you need to push it through every single morning and do it fresh. Even, a lot of people are like, oh, I buy it organic celery juice from the store in a little bottle. Yeah. Guess what? Within, what's the time frame? It's like 30 minutes is the time frame where it's the most effective. And then it starts lessening and lessening from there. Yeah. So you want the results, do the work. Just put a celery through the juicer.
Cleaning it's the work. And waiting on your coffee is the work. Medical medium says you can juice it the night before if you put it, but it's going to lose a little bit of its mojo for sure. Next question. No celery powder
and no other thing, and no juice boxes, none of that, because you don't know how long it's been there for. You just need to get a juicer if you really care about getting rid of the things I said. Diabetes, blood pressure, psoriasis, herpes, because it reduces. If you did celery every day and you are someone that gets herpes outbreaks on your lips or wherever, guarantee you will get minimum to none if you did it every single day, because the whole thing, what celery does is it pulls Epstein-Barr from your body. We all have it. I know all of you like, oh, I don't get herpes or whatever. Everyone has a version of it. It's just what it is to be human. And you might not ever get outbreaks, or you might not get everything, but we all have a version of it. So reducing the load of Epstein virus on your body has your body be able to fight all the other viruses and all the other things in there. So if you're serious about it, just get a juicer. Do it.
There's a lot of diseases that come from Epstein-Barr, and herpes and staph, and some of those are one of them. And it kills that, and it also gets rid of Hashimoto's, which creates a lot of thyroid issues, Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So a lot of people in our program have. Someone says it's too expensive. It's less than a frappuccino. It's like when people.
Sometimes, like when it's expensive in Canada, it might be $6 for a thing, but weigh that up to. I mean, I know Canada healthcare is free, but what's not free is you sitting in a hospital because you have some virus that's overgrown, or that you now have dementia, or you now have something that it's unmanageable because you let that go too far.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's a bit, I know, but just cut it. Look where you can cut out some of the things that aren't good for you, like coffee, or make your coffee at home, and then you can also have celery at home. But if you're looking for testimonials, go to medical mediums or read our testimonials.
Ours.
You'll see most folks who come with that. It helps get to the root cause.
We have an amazing, one of our amazing women in their 70s did celery every day without fail for a year, and like released over 100 pounds for a start, and got rid of so many issues along the way. You know, just I can't even name them. There's so many that she got rid of along the way, and she really says
cracked
that celery.
heels and a lot of her higher blood pressure, her cholesterol came into check.
There was all sorts of horse cramp. There was all sorts of things that I like, Charlie cramps or
Charlie horses.
But all sorts of things.
Folks' eczema seems to really get away. All right, let's move on.
And psoriasis.
Someone asked about vertigo. There is a thing that's called the Epley maneuver. You can either go to your chiropractor and ask them to do it. Sometimes the crystals in your eardrum get a little bit squirrely, and you can do it yourself. There's many YouTube tutorials on how to do the Epley maneuver by yourself, but the crystals in your inner ear get off, and this maneuver you can actually go off the edge of your bed and slowly do it by yourself. It's better to have help. If you have a chiropractor that's worth their salt, they'll know the Epley maneuver, and I would start there with vertigo. But also regularly see a chiropractor, a subluxation chiropractor.
Subluxation is the key.
Yes.
Not a sports therapy, a subluxation.
Okay, next.
What is the one piece of health advice you wish everyone... Oh, no, we were going to skip this.
No, we're going to do that.
No, we're going to do this. What one piece of health advice you wish everyone would follow? It's easy. You cannot go to all the fancy things until you drink enough water, get the right amount of sleep, and move your body. They're the three. They're the foundational three.
Yeah, no amount of supplements or vitamins or pills are going to be able to keep up with. And you throw a good night's rest in there and just eat real food. So those are my bonuses are just eat real food and make sleep like your most important thing you prioritize in your life. But then walking, moving, and water are...
Yeah. And if just eat real food, if you're like, what is that? What is real food? Anything that came directly from God. Anything in its natural form is real food. Anything that comes from a package or man has tampered with is not real food. So that's the easy way to
Sure, if
break
it's in
it
a
down.
package, just that's been processed and so avoid anything processed.
The easy way to do this is imagine what cavemen eat, right? And so...
Or even your great-grandparents.
cavemen is easier because it's like more primitive. So they wouldn't have any access to anything packaged. So if you just eat that, you're going to do great because that's what our bodies were made for, right? So just eat real food,
but,
drink water.
Our grandparents or
sleep.
great-grandparents didn't have the Alzheimer's and the diabetes and the dementia and the cancer. None of it. This all came with our ultra-processed garbage food and the toxins in our chemicals that we consume and the credit card worth of plastic in our body every week. So our great-grandparents, just try to... What would grandma do? What would grandma eat?
Or great-grandma.
Or great-grandma.
Yeah.
Is high protein a fad, or is it important to eat a certain amount of protein every day?
So important.
Yeah, both. It's a fad, but you're seeing it more.
Because there's more science that's come out that really shows that our, again, if you think of a caveman.
Or woman. There was women there too.
Caveman and
a cave woman.
A cave woman.
Stay with grandparents. The cavemen did they have fire?
No, yes, they had fire.
Did they have
and
knives?
They would run and they would hunt an animal and then they would have a lot of meat for a short period of time and then they would have berries that are in anything that is in season. They would eat, they would forage. So that is how we are designed to eat, not gluttonizing all the food, all the things all the time, and a lot of grains and things that just they didn't have. So yes, high protein is important, especially as you're reaching 40 and beyond, because there's a lot of things in our hormones, there's a lot of things breaking down that are needing that to keep our energy up. So the rule is 1 gram of protein for every ounce of ounce of body weight.
If you're 100 pounds, if you're lifting weights and you're a man, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. Like I should have 200 grams of protein a day, and I'm about 200 pounds. But if you're sedentary, don't do a gram. You need to be
moving.
Otherwise, it'll be a little hard on your kidneys. But protein makes you feel more full. It's very satiating. So if you're hungry, start with veggies and protein. If you start with carbohydrates, you're going to be on a I can eat everything in the kitchen vibe for the next 6 or 7 hours. So start with veggie and protein, and then if you're still hungry, have a little carbs. But carbs, you're never satisfied with with carbs, but with protein, it's very filling.
For those that don't know, there's good carbs and bad carbs. So good carbs are things like sweet potatoes, what else, babe? Like list out all the good carbs I can have.
Well, there's a lot of carbohydrates in different vegetables too. So
these are called complex carbohydrates.
Yeah, you don't want too many simple carbs. So white rice or white pasta is going to turn into sugar super fast, or bread. So sourdough bread, it depends on your goals or what you're doing or how active you are. Sometimes carbs are important for your brain, or depending on what you're doing. But if you're just trying to release weight, minimizing your carbohydrate intake is going to help you get there. But you want
complex carbs, not simple carbs.
Yes. And then there's a cool starch trick where if you let your potato or your sweet potato come to room temperature or cold, and then you reheat it, you make it resistant starch. And that works it doesn't spike your blood sugars at all when you let something like a rice cool and then heat it up again. As it cools and heats, it makes it a resistant starch, which keeps your blood sugar low.
So a really easy way because this sounds complicated, but a really easy way to think about it is anything white, don't eat unless it's cauliflower. So, and that's your white breads, your white rice, your white flour, anything that has any packaged product, just don't eat it, and eat, your meat and veg, or fish and veg, and have your carbohydrates through vegetables, not through anything else.
Yeah. I mean, at different phases, it depends what your goals are too. Mm-hmm. Like we have root vegetables. There's some white sweet potatoes that I just love, and we have sourdough and so on. It just depends what you're trying to do.
If you are lifting heavy weights and going to the gym a lot, you do need some form of other carbohydrate,
but you get those from fruit and you get those from veggies too. We're just try to avoid processed grains and processed things like that. Your body will thank you. Your inflammation will go down, your autoimmune will go down, and you will feel amazing. There's something to the paleo diet, pagan diet, which is what Dr. Mark Hyman kind of puts forward, is paleo, but it's very veggie forward.
Can I debunk something really quickly? So keto diet is a big trend. It's not particularly amazing for women. Just so you know, a lot of people are like, keto to drop weight. There's no particular thing that's good for anyone in general. Everyone has to find what their body needs. But in general, ketogenic diet is not the greatest. Paleo is different, and so break down paleo.
It's very simple. You could look it up. It's what our ancestors ate, or the hunters and gatherers. More fruit.
Cavemen.
A little bit after, slightly after cavemen, like foragers. Yeah, maybe a few thousand years after cavemen. But paleo, they wouldn't have like the processed grains and processed sugars and lots of fruit, lots of veg, lots of meat. But depending on your blood type will be what kind of meat you can tolerate too, and what your body will feel awesome on. But all right, that's it.
And we want our bodies to feel awesome.
You want to have energy,
and guess what? When you start eating this way, you feel amazing. You feel satiated. You don't eat all the crap. You don't feel you don't have the highs and the lows. It is not a sacrifice. It is a privilege to eat like this. And once you get into the flow, you will never ever turn back. Ever. Doesn't matter how much of a sugar addict you are. It doesn't matter. And if you need help, if you're like, I could never, I'm like so addicted to all the things, then we run programs for those people that really want the life that they truly desire. Because when you have the health and vitality and body that you desire, it opens up your abundance, it opens up your career opportunities, it opens up your relationship opportunities. Everything opens up when you take care of this beautiful vessel.
That's right.
So it starts with taking care of you so that you can like do all the things you want to do. So if you're fascinated, interested, and you're like, I'm ready, I want to make something happen, then what's the best thing to do?
They comment freedom on any one of these posts, or just go to freedom-alchemist.com. And as you know, what Kate and I are
message freedom if you're like, I want to know how to. Then
you'll get a message back.
Yeah, and you get a message back, and then you can say, I want to know how to do this, or whatever it is. But message freedom first to start the conversation.
And that'll get you like connected with us. But what Kate and I are really passionate about is making sure you don't end up in some nursing home, you know, on tubes, or them feeding you Jell-O and you can't remember your kids' names, and no one visits you because you wouldn't remember them. Like we want to make sure, and 1 in 3 of you will end up in a nursing home. And
that is the stats, by the way. He's not saying that. 33%. That's 1 in 3.
So, and like, why, you know, wouldn't it be beautiful to spend that last decade or two swimming, hiking, being with your grandkids? You're not stuck in front of some television watching other people live an exciting, adventurous life. That's kind of the field that Kate and I operate in. We really are passionate about giving people hope for those last couple decades. So they're not filled with pain and frustration. They're filled with joy and enjoying your great, great grandkids, and remembering all their names as you pray for them or whatever you do. Okay. All right, that's it. Thanks for the questions. We'll see you guys next Friday.
Don't forget, you can always, where do they message the questions that they want to ask?
They could ask on these when they're seeing them for next week. So when you watch this, you could also... that's probably the best way. Wherever you're seeing this, on Facebook, underneath the video, put it in... and
put freedom, and then ask your question. Say, I want this question for next week.
Yeah,
so
we'll answer it next week.
Yeah, so freedom for us to know...
in the comments below. Yeah. Like, if just comment on this video, hey, what about this? And then we'll make sure that gets...
Because I see some of the questions back here. Put it in and we'll answer it next week.
Yeah, there's red lentil pasta. Anything processed is not going to be as good as real food, Tracy, but lentil pasta and chickpea pasta is probably better than the Frankenwheat pasta. It just depends on your blood type, too. How do you stop eating sugar?
That's a big conversation. Ask it in the questions and we'll go from there next week.
Yeah, first start with stop eating it.
It's not that easy, babe. When you're addicted, we'll talk about.
It's harder to quit apparently than smoking and cocaine, sugar. That's what I've been told.
Crack. That's crack.
No,
I think.
Smoking or cocaine, cigarettes or cocaine. Apparently, sugar hits the dopamine
and yet
centers more.
we feed it to our children at such a young age.
Especially
and
when
I'm always like, would you give your kid cocaine? But that's a whole other thing that I'm very passionate about.
We have a question about thyroid cancer. There's lots
so
of...
many.
Okay,
so put them in for next week, and we'll answer them next week.
All right. See you, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.